old and like I say, I don't want to do the old, hey, today's episode is about, but maybe we should say it's about the new normal. I keep hearing, I hear it all the time. I've been hearing it, we've probably been hearing it for decades.
It's been too long, and it just seems like over the past 5 years, you've heard it a lot. And it's, I don't even, the new normal to me is no normalcy.
Well, first of all, we should welcome Holly to the program. We
Hey,
should, yeah, because you are getting pretty well known. You're actually on one of our top downloaded episodes of all time.
wow,
I still think
wow.
it's one of the early ones about baseball contracts. And we're talking about well, we'll touch base on another one too because I was deep diving into the analytics the other day. I love doing that stuff. But yeah, the new normal because I mean, I was going to talk about like the new normal for like people quote unquote our age, but again, was I diving into the analytics, we have a very like 60% of Mitch's audience from the start of the year is ages 35 to 59. So even if they're not like I was thinking like when I started this, the demographic could be us. Like, who do you want your audience to be? I'm like, well, us, because we probably get this stuff. But a lot of people, I think the younger age are probably thinking about, like I say, the new normal can be retirement.
Well, I think that we resonate more with the younger than the older. Number
Well, yeah,
one.
yeah, in our age, yeah. And what did you know we're not baby boomers? I found this out yesterday.
Well, we kind of are, but I don't claim it. I'm a Gen X. We were born in the last 2 years of the
Well, but
baby.
we're not. Even that group, there's an age, there's a new uh generation group. It's like from the 90s, I think. And I'm gonna talk about it with somebody else, but it's called Generation Jones.
Well, then I
It
won't
was
have to grit my teeth and hold on to the seat and keep from punching people when they call me a boomer
Yeah,
anymore.
like when, like, because you can understand like the early boomer ages, they're like Vietnam and all, Flower Child and all that
Well, it's
stuff. And
Korea. It's before
we
that.
just,
I mean, it
we
goes
just
way
don't
back.
resonate with, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But now,
everything Gen X is what I remember. It's what I remember growing up.
well, that's what they're
So
saying that we kind of resonate, like a hybrid with Gen X and with the baby boomers. Like they say our statement is going to be, I had a rotary phone, but I also watched MTV.
yeah, watch the first one.
Yeah, I watched it with Jeff DeMoss at Western Illinois University. It was a party.
I will say this: I did not think we would be talking about this and about our our ages so quickly in life. And I think that's maybe one of the things that's when you're living your life and what people should know out there is maybe some of the stuff should resonate as a little bit of a plan before you get here.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
once you get here, some of the stuff is kind of like hindsight stuff.
Yeah, it's
But
kind of too late almost. It's like you're already into it. And that's why I mentioned that the age demographic, not that I care. I'm glad that a lot of the younger people are listening in, but they need to understand that, and they probably do better than us that, if once you leave the job, it's less about what you do and more about who you are. So it's like, and then like little things like and believe me, this is a very specific new normal, and we'll get to the generalities, but rebuilding. For me, I've joked about it I just realized how it's been a decade with the current company I'm in. And as such, I travel a lot and I'm rarely home. And I always joked about if I don't see him at the gym or if I don't see him at the grocery store, I ain't meeting nobody. But
mhm.
now, especially living in Texas, it's a better chance to open those doors. You never know.
That's true. That's true. I think one of the things that a lot of people aren't ready for, and I got a taste of it a little bit earlier in life than I was anticipating, is that you do have to figure something out once you become, because I call it becoming irrelevant. When you
Yeah,
retire, you
yeah.
become irrelevant. Nobody's, your opinion means nothing except to your partner or maybe close friends because your opinion was normally used in a business modality. Um, it's, you become somewhat, but it gives you the opportunity to not become a social ghost. When you're so big into business, you're a social ghost. You don't have time for anything. And now,
Exactly. That's the point. Like I just said, it's like, and even my neighbor, like he was like, "Where you at? Where you at? Where you this week? I didn't see you around." Like, I'm sorry, Victor, I get it, but then maybe you become more relevant to the people who are more important. I'm not saying that work isn't important. It got you to where you are, but
I found that I when I was very relevant, it was very fun, but I also enjoy the fact that life has slowed down just a little bit. It allows me to do other things that I want to do, and we're
Yeah,
going to touch about a few of them on here on what to do and what not to do. There are several rabbit holes you can crawl into when you're
yeah,
retired.
yeah. I mean, if you lose that structure, like, that's because I don't know. I mean, I've been doing it for the last 25, probably 35 years, getting up at 6 a.m. I
You know,
I do it on
I
Saturdays, I do it on Sundays.
I still do it now. I mean, if I sleep to 7, it's late. I think, not trying to jump around, but I was just a thought just struck me when we're talking about people and what they did with retirement. You look at what our parents did in retirement, maybe people 20 years ago did in retirement. There are
Hmm.
limited things to do. Through our lifetime, we've seen the creation and obsolescence of so much technology, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. And that's why we evolve with it more easily than some of the older people, is because we've lived through so much of it. We've seen things,
That's
be
what they
invented
say.
and then become, irrelevant. And I just think that there's so much more to do now in retirement. So many ways to connect, so many ways to connect to things that you don't have to feel isolated, even if you're the only person in the room.
Well, that's one of the new normals that we were going to talk about is this technology and communication because constant connectivity, you can't hardly avoid it. It's
Almost too
it's
much.
well, it's
Almost
that
too much.
they say, it's a constant connectivity, but also a loss of depth of like real meaning. Like I've always been about like where I work currently is, we will on occasion have a mass like a team sync, and everybody's got the same look on their face. They're like, Sarah, Tim, it's like, oh, it's so great to actually see you. It's like, and then you have real conversations about life and about what people are doing, and they become, they're your friends before, but now it's like even better and it's more, a deeper connection. It's just a very big difference. Everybody walks away from that week-long team sync, or even if it's a few days, just like, okay, I'm ready to get back to this whole online stuff again.
It's really tough too, because I remember being when I was back in business, is I hated business trips. I hated team meetings and stuff. I tried to get together with my team once a month, but just very quickly bullet point stuff. And I tried to bullet point out to my supervisors and have them go ahead and get my message out to the crew in that, because all they did was bitch. It was like, I just like, I had all kinds of stuff to do, and now we're doing this, and now I'm 2 hours behind.
Well,
I took my supervisors out deep sea fishing one day. It's
that's
just
funny you
a
mentioned that. Yeah.
team, just a team builder, and they bitched about the fact that they were behind a day in work now, and I'm like, this cost me a
Yeah.
thousand
Yeah.
bucks. It cost me a
And I feel,
thousand bucks to take you
I
out.
feel, and I feel bad because you probably saw a lot of that from me over the years. And I was going to apologize to you because I think that's what my current job has done to me. But I done, I did a smaller, I did a microcosm, and I took my team out on a team sync, just a half a dozen of my team and myself. We had a great time. We got so much done. And I'd shout them out all by first name, but they're unique first names and stuff that they would know who I was talking about. But video calls are like now like the default as opposed to the exception, and communicating via text. We were talking beforehand that I had to take an Uber out to get my car just got repaired. For the first time ever in my life, Holly, I went through diagnosis, the estimate, arranging the pickup, all on text. Didn't talk to him once.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy?
It's
I
it's not
I
true.
loved Uber in Miami. When we went down to Miami to watch the Cubs play the Marlins, we used the Uber, what is it, the Lux or whatever it is, their fine
Oh,
service.
there's
And
an
I'm telling you,
XL.
we got picked up, the Uber Black, and we got picked up in vehicles that are like, mid six-figure vehicles. I'm like, oh my God. And they're using it, they're writing this thing off because they're using it during the day to do a little ride share. And I'm like, man, I could get used to this. And like even now, as a midlife crisis thing, I wanted to buy a convertible, and then I started thinking, man, why buy one when you can just rent the damn thing? How often are you going to take it out? It's like a boat. The best 2 days of owning a boat's the day you buy it, the day you sell it. So
See, and I've got the Jeep, and it's like rarely do I take the top fully off because it's over. I'll take the. I did it before. I took the top and the doors and everything off. Try driving at 65 miles an hour with no
and
protection.
and you bought it because you got a little eggplant watching the commercial of somebody driving with the thing wide open. You're
Yeah,
like, hell yes, and then you never do it.
I
That's
do it
why I
occasionally. With the, I take. In fact, I'll take the doors off today. Now that you mention it, because it's pretty nice out here in Texas. But and I rarely do the. But the point being, like we are talking about with the Zoom meetings and the online connectivity is, it's gotten to the point where automation touches every part of our life, and now that's getting to be AI. And if you listen to episode 131, and again, I'll stop talking about the analytics, but that's one of our most downloaded of all time. And Elon said, "Be careful with this AI because when you let loose the powers of AI, it's like letting loose the devil or something like that."
see, I somewhat agree with Elon, except for the fact that I think people are giving AI much too much credit right
Oh, I
now.
agree completely. I agree.
AI is Siri on creatine right now.
It's
Well,
because they're saying like it's this is AI. I'm like, that's not AI. That's just another word for shit that we already had. But pardon my French, by the way. But I
no,
mean, you
Siri was
can
answering me.
because I've taken see that's what I've taken a lot of the Alexa out of my house, evidently not all of it. And I brought in my old, I think I told you before, my old Yamaha stereo, my Boston acoustic speakers. I just don't want to be talking to that and get my music from it, so I opted out of it. So you can opt out of it, out of some of this technology, but you tend to fall behind. You can risk like isolation. Maybe that's what you want, but
I shut off everything AI. I don't do anything. I don't do the AI on Facebook. I don't do the AI. I can't say that. I'll do it a little bit on Google. It tends to be repetitious, and your chats, even like if you're going to be doing a recap or whatever. It seems to be repetitious. You really got to be careful, and especially for people. And I stress this: people in the business world that might be looking over something and have a synopsis of a
oh
meeting or say like very important notes. Be careful because AI puts on 3 feet on most everything it makes, and so and it creates stories that aren't always what you're looking for. But it
yeah,
is
it's
an incredible start. It's like the
it's
it's
it,
like
it,
the microwave when it first came out. You know?
It's a tool. I mean, don't rely on it. It's just a tool to help you be
Yeah.
better, like a better communicator. Because I've seen people that send definite messages. They're like 100%. You just talk
It's
to AI and they
it's
generated it for you.
it's Cliff Notes on steroids, is what
But
it
one thing,
is. You're
but
still
one thing
gonna be
about
dumb as shit if you don't know what you're talking about, right?
it's
You're
only
just
it's only as good as
basically
what you put into it.
yeah.
I mean,
You're gonna just be parroting unless you have some intelligence to yourself. But yeah, I think it's a good tool. It's got a place. It has a place.
it will. We'll get better at it. Like we also did an AI episode where I'm genuinely embarrassed of how we're using it now, and you know what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to bring it up. But
The
but
one that
uh,
says review AI policies. I can't respond for 24 hours or
but
something.
the ones where they just genuinely they want to use AI to get money or a boner. Let's be honest, that's
It's
mostly.
and right now I think that's much like the microwave. That's the only two things AI is good for: getting money and a boner.
And
But then it starts branching out as other people get different things to stick in the microwave. It becomes a little bit
I,
better.
I see what you did there. But one of the new norms that I like, because we're going to be beating this AI thing to death, is the new normal regarding health. Because I think one point we brought up for sure is it's more about your health span now as opposed to your lifespan. So to generate, to use the new technologies, the new normals in regards to preventive care and mental health, getting its due finally to live a better life, not just to live a longer life.
I believe in when people say all life is precious. I say I don't necessarily agree. I believe the quality of life is precious. I don't believe in any length of life. It's sad if somebody doesn't live to somebody else's expectations as far as length or whatever. But I do believe it's quality. And some of the stuff that we're looking at now, we did to ourselves when we were younger. I mean, The reason I go to
Yeah.
the skin doctor now and get something cut off every year is because of what I did 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Or
And
what you didn't do.
or what I didn't do. Yeah. Didn't know what sunscreen was until I moved to
Yeah. Yeah.
Florida.
Trust me, I've learned that in Texas.
But I think that uh the mental health aspect of it's very important. And I also think that we need to make sure that we go to the doctor when we need it. But I have a really good doctor, and he's like, you can be over doctored. So he's
Yeah, I've
like,
had that too. I've had
don't
that too. Because I, you
necessarily
know,
go looking for problems; they'll present themselves. And at our age, sometimes presenting a problem is just more stress than anything. Like some doctors now for like one particular thing, like prostate cancer. Some doctors don't even test for it anymore because they're like, you're gonna by the time you get die if you have prostate cancer, the average man, you'll already be at the age where you're probably gonna die. So they're like, oh, but if we treat it, we're gonna ruin your ability to do all kinds of things and make your life more complicated. And so I use a I use cognitive behavioral therapy a lot. I really bring that into my life as far as like, okay, my body's changing, I'm changing, be careful not to catastrophize things because
yeah,
as you're
yeah.
older, so the other day I got up, stood up, thought I was going to fall through the wall. I thought my foot was broken. And then I was like, and still don't know what happened, but I was ready to go to the hospital 2 days in a row. And I'm like, give it time because there's no reason why your foot should feel broken. And I don't know what happened, but it started feeling better. And
Yeah, I have no problem. Unfortunately, because of this, I've noticed, and the Marine has told me as well. It's about how much attention he gives to. He's gotten me because I'm doing stuff. My kid has taught me. I just had some dark chocolate this morning. He taught me that in 2018 when I went to his house for Thanksgiving.
so
So I've
good for
remembered
you.
that,
So
and
good
yeah,
for
that,
you.
and things like paying attention to sleep, tweaks in your diet. I just added fiber to the damn diet. God dang it! But
I'm going to have to like try that. I'm still okay. So many of our younger listeners aren't going to understand this, but Mitch and I grew up in an age where canned food became a luxury. It became a big thing. It was an explosion. It was all about saving time. Saving time. We've eaten so many things out of tin cans with lead welds that,
I
our
was so
bodies are different.
disappointed. I'm so disappointed. I went to the grocery store the other day because I was going to go camping up by the Panhandle, and they don't sell Dinty Moore in the can anymore.
That's sad because that's one of the easiest meals you could make
It's
in college
delicious
was
too.
Dinny Moore in a casserole dish and throw biscuits on it and shove it in the
Oh,
oven.
oh, oh, that's exactly what I was going to do over a campfire. And I know it's a sodium compromise, but I don't do it that often. I just wanted it.
Oddly enough, dude, I eat sodium to where I should have deer flocking around to lick me, and yet I go get my blood work done and my sodium's normal. And I'm like, well, I'm
Yeah.
not pissing around with this. I'm not looking
Oh,
for problems. I'm going to have those. I mean, I don't salt stuff. I'm not pinky. I don't salt stuff. I don't salt the salt. I remember him, it's anything he would salt,
yeah.
but I'm just eating my stuff. It's like, and honestly, I think a lot of it is, I don't think it's hereditary anymore. Some of it is, there are some things that are hereditary in us and some things that we've just changed our life and lived differently that we're going to, we're going to age differently medically. And another thing too, is like many of my family, just as an example, didn't even have proper health care and they lived to be 100 into the 90s and 100 and did real well until right to the end. And
Yeah, that's all you can ask, right? And I see a lot of people now, I don't know about you, but I look at people now and I wonder, are they my age? Because,
dude,
I think,
I think people are going to start. I think that the age median is going to start going down simply because of stress. I think that stress is going to be it's getting right up there as one of the biggest causes of death there is.
I'm with
You
you. I'm
know,
with you. And I also like the way you touch base, and we should like, delve into a little bit more about how mental health is finally getting its due, its day in the sun. And especially, I can't say especially, but now you see like there's men's mental health month because they used to ignore it in men all the time. They're like, whatever, just get up and do your stuff.
you're
You're a
supposed
guy.
to
You're not
shove
supposed to
it
have any
down
feelings. Yeah.
as being
But
growing up in an
stress,
Irish
anxiety,
family.
even loneliness is getting attention now in older adults. So mindfulness, I guess, generally is what we're talking about.
I remember when we got stressed, where do we go? To the bar.
The bar, yeah.
And we were medicating too. It's not like we weren't. I mean, I believe that that's all medication, whatever it is. You're
Well,
trying to get to a different spot. You
that's the
know,
Cheers mindset too, though. Go where everybody knows your name, and
it's
then
true.
like you can see that everybody's going through this. That's why I say kind of like when I have those team syncs, everybody's going through what you are. So don't worry, it's not you. It's not you. It's the company you work for.
That almost broke me down here for a while, though. When Rock Pink was really big, and we were sponsoring Earth Day Birthday, and we were sponsoring events that brought in 20,000 people, and a quarter of Orlando knew my name. It was uncomfortable. It got extremely uncomfortable because with everybody knowing you and you don't know them, it starts making you friggin' paranoid. It's like people walk right up to you. It's scared the hell out of you. You don't even know, like you're him, like that. And since I've given that up, I miss some of the camaraderie. But oh my God, getting pulled a million ways. I'm not going to miss that.
Yeah,
And you won't
yeah.
either when you retire, because I know you get pulled a million ways where you are.
It's I was just thinking as you're going through that story, I get again, I add those team syncs to a lesser scale, but they're like, hey, there's Tim or there's Mitch. Or like, remember me, Mitch? I'm like, kinda.
Uh, it's,
But what
yeah,
you
it's,
you know what else I've learned from the Marine and from the younger people is and this is another new normal is the environment and sustainability because even I make it part of my life. The climate conversation they talk about has become personal with people. It's it's especially like you hear things like that become relevant. But you've probably seen when you move to Florida, different things become relevant here. But here it's droughts, wildfires, weird weather, things that could happily impact it. Now you're paying attention. That and
well, we are. We're paying attention and we're causing it. It keeps getting hotter and hotter and hotter in Florida. If you look over the past quarter century, our temperatures have increased a great deal, and it's like we're leaving such a carbon footprint. It's like my one of my friends is a retired meteorologist, and he was talking about how it keeps getting hotter every year. I'm like, let's pour some more concrete. Let's make let's let's build
yeah.
ourselves another amusement park.
Well,
And
sometimes convenience still wins over conscience, right?
it's so weird too, because like there are parts of Orlando, it's just hotter than hell. But where I live, there's still a lot of woodland area, and I live on a lake. And we get home, and it can be at night, it can be 7, 8 degrees difference, right,
Hey,
right in a little pocket around
I've got
us.
to ask. I'm hoping beyond hope, but tell me, does the retired weatherman friend of yours, does his name rhyme with Billing?
No, 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 no. I don't know. I don't know
Oh,
Tommy. It
that
rhymes with morals.
that was
But and now I'll have to have Tom listen to this so he can go
well.
like,
Good.
oh, they mentioned me on there. It's Tom Sorrells from I know several meteorologists down here because one of the events that my charity did was a celebrity bolorama, and we tried to get every meteorologist from TV to bowl and did a good job of it. We filled 80 lanes. And so I know a lot of meteorologists in Orlando.
Well, I didn't mean to take you off track,
It's okay.
but I do like the way because again, I'm learning from. I keep going back to like, my kids teach me like I haven't used an aerosol spray can for like, Pam or anything for the longest time. I pump my own. I haven't used paper towels. I don't know how long. I bought cloth. Things like that just becomes to now it's part of your daily habits. I'm glad to say it.
I use a Keurig, but I got
The
so
filter.
I feel use the filter. I didn't for all the time. I will say this: I did because it was so cheap from Amazon to get the box of 100 cups. I was doing it like that. But then you drive. Then I drove to Cocoa Beach and saw the huge ass landfill that they're putting
Oh my
in. That's
gosh.
only 25 miles away from the beach, and I'm like, this blows. And
Well,
it's
and
dude, it's
that's why
just
that's why it's personal for you. You felt that it's like this sucks, and there's something we can do about it.
what blows even worse. And let me tell you something that
I do, but
pisses
go
me
ahead.
off so bad is they put out a news blip about our recycling here. And if one piece of recycling is wrong, the whole load. the whole truckload gets dumped into the trash.
Huh.
And they tried to like they went around for a while and inspected the your trash bins to make sure your recycling was only recycling, and if it wasn't, they would zip tie it shut so they couldn't, pick it up. They put a sticker on it letting you know why, and it didn't work, and they're just now just dumping it in just dumping it in the trash. And I'm like, why are we not using like Orange County prisoners to sort the friggin' stuff at the site, like at the dump site? If there's one thing or what something in there, pull it out and recycle. It deflated me because I recycle everything. I try to recycle everything. I spend a lot of time cutting up boxes and stuff because that's today is like how many boxes do you get every week, and just it floored me how they treat that down here.
I repurpose a lot of those. I'm not saying I'm bootlegging, but I repurpose a lot of them. Well, let me ask you a question. Like, just I'll ask you out of the blue. With all of these new paradigms or the new normals, do you think spirituality is still around? Because you and I grow up Roman Catholic. At least I know I did. But do you think spirituality is up or down?
I think it's
And that can be two answers, by the way.
I think it well I'm well yes and no is an easy answer, but I think self spirituality's up. I think that somebody claiming, the religion part of it, I don't think it's up. Honestly, I think even though our country is probably one of the most well-attended countries when it comes to going to church, it's still not a very large percent. Not what you would think from the people that are going, we're just sick and tired of not being able to, you know, believe in how we want to believe in. It's like nobody cares. Do what you do. What makes you happy. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think spirituality. If we talk about, I'm a humanist, and if it's I'm my spirituality is like one with nature, and my journey is amor fati. I embrace everything, good and bad, because that's part of the journey, and it leads you to a better consciousness. That's what I've embraced. So whether it's total bullshit or a good way to go, that's kind of the way I roll these days.
Yeah, I
And
don't know that I have a way. I know they just generally say that just a quick bullet point they mentioned like that purpose trumps achievement. Like later in life, the question drifts from, what did I do or what did I accomplish to why did I do it? So that can be it means meaning becomes more important than status or money. And I'm starting to see that. I mean, as I get older, it's not so much like people are trying to get the money, especially if you're talking about retirement. There's no status anymore. So what are you chasing now if you're
no
retired?
status outwardly, but inwardly, I mean, I don't know. I think maybe the status that you replace with serenity. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
well, that's a big focus too. People talk about, if I've heard a second phrase as opposed to the new normal, it's living your best life. Um, and it's not just about, for the legacy, I think of what like who you are. It's not just about what you leave behind anymore. It's but how you show up now. The more important is like, are because you've got to now, and I'm not joking, so don't I'm making, but you've got a lot of knowledge. I've gained a lot of, and maybe it's accidental. I don't know, but mentoring or storytelling, or or
Uh,
or just like being that model character matter more than ever. Than it's just I think it's and that's part of what this week we talked about this millennial and the Gen X generation coming up behind us. They're helping foster that point of view.
well, and yeah, and the people that come up behind us, they're pardon me, I have a cough button. I didn't use it. Uh, I think that they are going to have a much harder path for a while than we're going through right now because I think that there's like they're saying down here, if you're a young person, you got to make some serious jack to live comfortably in Florida
Yeah,
and
yeah.
especially in Orlando now.
Well,
So I
it's
mean,
same thing. Yeah, and like here, it's Texas is not bad. Austin is.
yeah,
Um,
they were saying 100 grand to live comfortably per person in Florida.
well, I mean, because we've done episodes
Yeah,
before, we talked about the challenges, and again, you and I talked about Generation Jones, the challenges that and then we'll do in the episode. Trust me, it's it had me looking into it so hard yesterday that I came up with, I thought, a nice episode. But we have a lot of similarities with these millennials and these Gen Xers coming up and the challenge that they faced, and the ability to do, to just show up is part of it, and then make, fight back against the machine. But now with everything that we've talked about today, and there is more. So where does it leave us? I mean, what's the new normal? Some people say it's rooted in choice. It's not just your circumstances, because once we like, and it's happening a lot now. Again, we're going to touch on retirement thing, but there was defined paths. Retire at 65, settle down by 30, work one career. But now it's like you do a mix. It's between purpose, work, and I guess rest.
And it's what people are different. Some people don't want to retire.
Well, they've always been, yeah,
Some
yeah.
people love, some people are Vin Scully. They love what they do so much that it's not work.
Oh, we love
But most
Vin.
of us have jobs. Most of us have jobs. If anybody, every time anybody asks, "Do you miss work?" I'm like, "F no."
Well,
I miss the much larger paychecks, but I do not miss a bit of work. Why would I didn't love it. I didn't even like it a lot of
well,
the
the ass
times.
producer, DT, he wants to, he loves that title, by the way. I think it's the only thing he likes to be associated with the podcast as assistant producer, so he can call himself the ass
We need
producer.
to get him some
But,
chaps.
but like he doesn't have them already. But But now it's more about like success today is more like it's less like climbing the ladder like they told about like you and I in the past, and it's
Mhm.
more like showing up. Just as it can be for your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, your neighbors, or like I mentioned, Victor, my neighbor. He's like I try to show up for my neighbors, Catherine across the way, Tommy across the way, or just for yourself. Show up for yourself.
And I know that you have to watch what you're saying because other people know you on this, but I've noticed that I go, God, I wish I would have been born in this era instead of the era I was born in because it'd be so easier to advance now because people are so stupid. I mean,
Wow.
I'm telling you some the
Now I know why you gave
overall
me that caveat about watching
the
what I say.
no the overall the over just to do their jobs, just to do their jobs,
That's what
and
I mean. Just
you
show
see,
up.
yeah,
Just
they
show
see.
up.
I'm like, it's not even phoning it in. It's like trying to. It's like you have to guess, and I'm like, oh my god. And but they all still have the dream. We want a job that pays enough for us to have a living.
Yeah,
And I'm like, look, you're
keep
not going
going.
to get that where you are.
Keep
It
going.
took it.
It's not so much. I think it's a lot of it is they want a job so they can get the flash. They
Well,
want.
you and I did too. We wanted it all when we were 30. My
I want
dad
an El
said good.
Camino.
My dad said good effing luck. He goes, it doesn't happen when you're 30. He goes, let me tell you, it goes with rare exception. Does getting what you want happen when you're 30 years old? He goes, work hard, work
Well, I
hard
do.
from.
I do like it is. I mean, that's what I've told. I've had younger people. I'm not going to say who, but they're like. Because they see I'm at this certain point in time. I've got a decent condo in the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest city in the country, in the greatest state in the union, and they're like, how did you get here? And I'm just like, I mean, I might not be the smartest person. I guarantee I'm not, but you're not going to see anybody that works harder. I'll get my head in and I'll root hog or die.
I was how I got where I was in business is I would be the first guy to jump into the grease pit and start shoveling
Yeah,
grease,
somebody's got
you
to do it.
know,
Let's go.
and I think that yeah, and when your direct report understands that they can count on you and
Yeah, exactly.
they don't have to check up on it, then you start moving.
And that's what you want. You don't want to be the one that has to lead. You want them to be able to think on their own.
there's downfalls to that too. Being too good, you end up mentoring many people who could have done it themselves, but they're just too goddamn lazy, and they come looking to you like mommy for the answers, and that bums me. And
Well, I think, because we talk about this whole thing, we've been talking about the new normal. I think the future's normal is built on the values of today, like the simplicity, the connection. We talked about the sustainability. They're not, I don't think they're trends. I think they're more like recalibrations or course corrections. So now how we live. now kind of sets the tone. Huh? There's a hockey reference for you.
There you
Sets
go.
the tone for what's next.
So is the new normal now? Part of the new normal is how we communicate as people. You know, I mean, the new normal as far as how we communicate and how we
Communication's huge.
and discuss things. It's become different. We've become an angrier society that tends to bend less. And
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm always the guy that says and these days weren't perfect days either. They weren't perfect, but remember the Reagan years,
They
and
were
they
Yeah,
weren't
because
perfect.
I remember because there was a pair, the thing, I always say that Reagan was the best president ever. They've got Teddy Roosevelt, in my opinion, and you got Ronald Reagan. But Reagan also cut my grants, so I I had to get the
Well,
hell out of college.
see, what happens when we go too far one way or the other. You just got. I mean, I think that the you just got to have a moderate approach, and the problem is okay, and this is okay. So and then we're going to end up diving into something political, which I don't necessarily want to. But the problem is every other president before the president we have right now is to an extent exactly the way that president is. It's just
Yeah.
that that president says exactly what's on his goddamn mind and doesn't care, and the other ones had a filter.
Well, I
And
think
because our and people parrot our leader, and so we start seeing a change in the way we communicate with each other.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it. But for me, it's like, and I was kind of proud of this last sentence because I actually thought of this my own, and I put it in bold. But for it feels like the new normal isn't just like any one of the things we talked about. It's more like it's a mindset. So change is the constant and adaptation is the new skill set. And I think that's the new normal.
It seems like things are you don't I think technology and stuff's advancing as faster than what it used to, but it just seems like our the effort that we have to adapt to it doesn't seem to be as much as what it used to. I remember when I learned Lotus, and I was like, God, is this the hardest friggin' program in the world to get what you want out of it? And then when they changed to Excel, I was floored. I was crushed. I was ready to quit my job. I'm like, why would you do this to me? It took me this long to teach myself, Lotus, and then Excel was like a walk in the park. So, that stuff, I don't think we're gonna have stressful times with technology like we grew up with, because we grew up when it was actually evolving. And
Yeah.
even though it's still more evolving, the the basics of it's already done. So it's just like, how can you adapt to easy things? My sister's not a she's not a technology person. She's a check writer, she's a store goer. Myself, I have not carried money in a wallet since 1997. uh, and unless there's a specific reason that I have to, and
Well,
I've
I
not
have to.
even, yeah,
I have
I've
to in
not
Texas.
not even, I've not even. I mean, we don't even bank at a bank that has bricks. Our bank's virtual, and
Well,
we've had a.
I would carry cash because I still, I mean, even though, in the time that I've been doing all this traveling around the country, I'll tip uh, like the shuttle drivers at the airport cash. And even since then, like in the last few years, they now put up a QR code. It's like, okay, but that's not the same. But
You're
I mean,
you're gonna
what?
call me the biggest pussy. I have
Well,
started tipping.
you didn't have to tell me that either.
I you know what? I had such a hard line, and I still have a hard line. I hate it. But then I thought, I look at some of these people and what they're making and what they're doing. I'm like, God damn, man, they're just trying to make it from day to day. And
Yeah,
if I
if
got a
nothing
buck or
else,
two, if I got an extra couple bucks in my pocket, that's not gonna make or break me. And if it can help them a little bit for if they do a good job, man, just
it's a small
don't,
way of paying it forward, and I'm proud of
yeah,
you. I'm not going to call
don't,
you what you said because that's a bad word. But
oh, what's a cat?
but now I'm going to call you. But honestly, because Texas forced my hand because there's still a lot of places. Like I went to Green Hall, and I think they just started, but I've been going there for 5, 6 years. If you want a beer, you bet they don't take cards. I'm like, well, I'll carry cash. I'll carry cash.
What?
Oh yeah,
It's
there's still a
crazy. I
few
mean,
places.
why is everybody going draconian on this shit? Everybody else is moving backwards. I thought the sky was falling when MLB said we're not printing tickets anymore. And they're like, well, how do we get in if you don't have a cell phone? And they're like, you don't.
Well, but
You don't
the
get
cash
in.
thing is kind of endearing, though, isn't it? I mean, it's like, yeah, okay,
Well,
I
I
like
do
that.
miss ticket stubs because I have a sack full of concert ticket stubs. I have a ticket stub to the best game in baseball I ever
I'm sorry.
watched.
You said stub and sack, and I just took I was thinking,
The sack of stuff. Well,
okay,
and that's basically how I went through life.
exactly. That's what I was going to say. I'm going to
Hung
stop
like
now.
a hockey puck.
I can already feel this is derailed. So let's give. But thank you for taking time today, Holly, talking about this new normal. I think we made some ground. Hopefully, you made some good points people can take with them and kind of ponder and hopefully helps them out.
And we never even made it to page two.
Oh, we did,
Well,
and trust me,
maybe we started with page two.
there's an episode coming about Generation Jones too. It's very, very interesting. So, and everybody, I'd like to thank you, by the way, because this is getting really close to 3 years. I'm not sure when this one will be released. It might be the third year anniversary. I don't know, but thanks everybody for sticking with us for this long. It's been fun, and Mitch ain't going anywhere, evidently. But and thank you for listening. If you want to see some more, you want to catch up on all episodes, you want to see all uh, the visuals from I do a screenshot of every guest, every episode on mitchwonders.com. I'll do that if you want. And also you can catch us on YouTube too. That's by the way, I was going to tell you, one of our videos on YouTube is banging it. It's one of the most downloaded. So
That's actually how I watch. I
it's kind
watch on YouTube.
it's kind of fun, right?
It is. It's fun.
Well,
And you
how
know what? As always, it's a pleasure hanging out with you. You know what? The two notes that I did get to, that I did make, we never even got to. So
we'll
if
have to get together again.
I'll just slide it. I'll just do it impromptu, and we'll slide it into whatever topic it is next time.
And be like, what the?
Hey, it's leftover stuff. I hate to waste knowledge, man. When I was a
Holly,
kid, we were poor. All I ever got was like encyclopedias A and B at the old A and P grocery store because C cost money.
yeah. And then the bastard went to like a double A because there was too many. Like, come on.
It's like, how much A stuff is there? Come on, you're lying. That's a lie.
Holly, till next time, my friend.
All right, brother, take care.